SGL. Welcome back. We are going to kick off this week of league action with an absolute banger. The Clash of the Titans, the top two going against each other as Steel Army takes on the Rebellion. This is the Only Mazar, and I am not alone. With me in the commentary booth is El Matador's Luis. And Luis, we were talking about this earlier, but whoever wins this match pretty much wins the league, no?
Yeah, first, thank you, Maz, for welcoming me in today. Super excited to be here, chat. This is, as Maz alluded to, I mean, this is basically the championship of the championship. Winner of this game is going to control their own destiny for the rest of the season. And I mean, these two teams at full strength, Maz, there's no competition for them in the championship, in my opinion. Barring a miracle, this is going to be the series to decide the entirety of the championship. I'm looking forward to it, Maz. What say you?
I cannot wait, and we should not have to wait too much longer. I will say this was supposed to kick off about 10 minutes ago, but there were some technical difficulties that prevented us from starting earlier. And if you're wondering why you're looking at this instead of the usual KJ overlay, well, if you can put two and two together, basically KJ's overlay is down. None of it works. So we got to go back to what we used to have back in Season 8 and before. So this is what we used to go with. We would have a slideshow of an image for each team that represents their football club's fan base. And then we'll go straight into the match. And we'll be bringing back the old overlay for those of you who've been around a while back. So, Luis, I think we're just waiting for one of the teams to get in, right?
I believe so. I believe we're waiting on the Rebellion of the New England Revolution, who just recently, Maz, officially signed the deal for their new stadium, which I'm really excited for. I think it's going to be a grass field as well, soccer-specific stadium for them. So congratulations to the New England Revolution for upgrading their stadium situation. We're looking forward to traveling up there for a game here in a couple of years. But I think both teams are in the lobby now, Maz, which is really good to hear.
Indeed. I cannot wait either. I'm eyeing that up for a future away trip for sure. And the more soccer-specific stadiums we have, the more grass stadiums that we have, the more stadiums inside their metropolitan areas, the better. And speaking of stadiums, we are going to be diving into Manfield very soon because, as Luis said, we have both teams in. So whilst I get that set up, put your predictions down in the chat. And Luis, go ahead and give your prediction on this match.
Listen, I'm going to go with the Rebellion here. I think Shorts is indeed in the lobby. Let me double check to make sure if Shorts is in the lobby. And, well, he is, folks. So I'm going to go with the Rebellion. Spoiler alerts. Probably 4-2. I'll give 2 games to Steel Army, but I think the return of Shorts is going to do it for the Rebellion.
Here we go! The clash of the top two. Steel Army versus the Rebellion. Game on.
Game on, indeed. And, of course, just the classic lineup for the Rebellion, Maz. Triple C Shorts, and of course IT Polar, but a bit of a new face on the blue end, on the Steel Army end. We have Mr. Fly Penguin himself making his first league SGL debut, so good to see him. And he has an open net, Maz. He really could have made it 1-0 for Steel Army.
Oh my goodness, I thought that was going to be an insane beginning of the match. We saw Fly Penguin make his debut against EC Defiance last week in the cup, and he did have his struggles. Maybe he's used to his teammates now. And so far, Steel Army are on the upper, have the advantage right now as the ball goes across. Bear Blitz just taps it in, and Steel Army take the lead in 47 seconds.
Yeah, great start for Steel Army. Debit fakes out the defender. I think it was Triple C expecting the extra touch from Debit. Wasn't there. Bear Blitz chips it in. 1-0. Really, really good start for the Pittsburgh boys.
Insane start. And I'm sure Razor Boy in the chat's hyped up. But now, Steel Army are brought back to the ground. Short steps up and gets the equalizer straight out of kickoff.
Yeah, Fly Penguin, a bit of unfamiliarity with Shorts' game, and Shorts made sure he understands his game now. Great play by, for me, the front runner for the MVP, and it's 1-1.
Shorts has shown himself to be the most important player for the Rebellion over the past few weeks. When the going got tough for them against Frontera Azul in the upper final of the Champ Cup, he stepped up and delivered. When there was no Shorts against EC Defiance, they lost in 4. But it's Shorts who brings this team back to the lead. Polar in a Rule 1, and Shorts takes advantage of the 2v2 situation. Rebellion lead 2-1.
Yeah, big Rule 1 there, taking Debit out of the play, and then a double commit out of Steel Army is not going to do you too well, typically, in Rocket League, and good response from the favorites, in my opinion, but Debit almost makes it 2-2. This could be a chance. Fly Penguin to himself. He can't get an extra touch, and Steel Army are just hounding the orange half. Bear Blitz double, it's off the mark. Steel Army, they can't buy a goal right now.
What an insane defensive sequence that is! The Rebellion, even when they get on the back foot, are showing that they can be solid, and Triple C stepping in definitely helps out the team. For the past couple of weeks, they've been playing with Pipe Shot Gogan, and as good as he has been, Triple C gives this team a whole other dimension. This trio is the top trio for the Rebellion, and we are seeing them step up, and they want first place back.
They do indeed, and a dangerous ball over the Steel Army goal line, Maz, and it just doesn't go on the net. Nobody wants to hit the ball. I mean, it was a gift, and, well, I guess they don't want open nets, so we'll take it from there. But, yeah, so far, I think the Rebellion are liking where they're at, and they're just all over the blue net. This should be 3, and it is. Triple C puts it in 3-1. Rebellion look really comfortable here, Maz.
The Rebellion did make it difficult themselves to score, but when you keep peppering that backboard and net, you always have a chance of getting a goal. And that is classic Rebellion Rocket League gameplay right there as well. Now, one thing I want to ask you, Luis, Fly Penguin is still trying to adjust and get used to his teammates. What can he do at this moment to make himself a key contributor for the team?
Well, first things first is probably staying on the field alive, as he's getting demoed all over the place. But it's tough when you're facing the likes of Polar, putting it in 4-1, and yeah, it just looks like the Rebellion, after that, you know, uncharacteristic slow start, they're on fire on all cylinders, Maz. They're really cooking.
2 minutes, 22 seconds remaining, and the Rebellion, after going 1-0 down, have built up a healthy lead. This trio is really up for this match. They want first place back. They've had their struggles, but they want to make sure that that does not become the norm. Here they are, trying to remind everyone in the championship that they definitely are the strongest team in the second division.
Yeah, as we see Triple C, open net, doesn't hit the target. Bit of a letdown if you're a Steel Army fan. I should revise my predictions, Maz. I said 4-2. I totally forgot that's a league game. Just given how important this game is, I just thought it was going to be in 7. But I'll go 3-1. I still think Steel Army's going to get a game here, but so far, I mean, Rebellion. You got to love what you're seeing after that uncharacteristic loss last week. Without Shorts, it must be said, but if you're a Rebellion fan, you got to be loving life right now.
Pipe Shot Gogan is absolutely loving this as well. A couple of people in the chat talked about Steel Army winning, especially Red Force saying Steel Army in 3. Well, he is not looking good right now with his prediction. His two brothers and his teammate Fly Penguin are really struggling to just get back into this game right now. Every single time they try to bring the ball forward, they get met with an aggressive challenge. And then with the pace the Rebellion are playing, and Steel Army have just no way of keeping control.
Yeah, control's been really hard to come by for Steel Army. It just seems like a lot of boom ball, but that's the result typically, Maz, of a team that's made you uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you're just getting rid of the ball, and the Rebellion have done so good. Look at Shorts here, round 1. Can he get it around 2? He can, but Shorts is really feeling himself, Maz. I think they deeply missed him last week.
They absolutely did. And we've seen this in the Premier from these guys. When they face the strong teams, they really step up and try to make their mark. You know, there's a reason they got to sweep Steel Army last season. So not Steel Army, Timbers Army in one of the matches they played last season. And also beat the locals, for that matter. So they're not a bad team by any stretch. And we're starting to see this right here. Poor Fly Penguin coming in, making his league debut in a 4-1 loss. And game 1 goes to the Rebellion in this best of 5.
Yeah, because you see all 3 Rebellion players repping, the Shopify Rebellion decal. I believe there was one Shopify Rebellion decal on the Steel Army side as well. So good to see a lot of the esports being represented. But I'll tell you what's being represented, Maz, is the Rebellion again. Like you said, they're putting their mark as the best team in a pretty emphatic way. I think most people had them as the best team coming in, and so far they're playing exactly like a favorite should.
So for Steel Army, now that they've faced this behemoth in game 1, surely they have to make a substitution. I mean, they have a full squad present for tonight. They have to bring out their best trio to get back into this, no?
Yeah, it's tough to say what their best trio is. I mean, I think most people would say Raisin Boy, and I'd probably agree, and we'll see if he makes his appearance. But, you know, I think Fly Penguin, I don't think he's a bad player whatsoever. It's just tough to come into, well, an extremely hard first opponent in the league in the Rebellion, who have been playing together for numerous seasons. So we'll see what lineup Steel Army goes with here, and see if they can get back on the board. It feels like they have to win this game number 2, Maz. If they don't win this game number 2, I really, really struggle to see them reverse sweeping a team of this caliber.
Oh, absolutely. But they also need to have someone else around to call on just in case they get into a bit of trouble, because there's no way that they could just hope for Raisin Boy to keep things going. You know, because Raisin Boy can also struggle.
Debit has to step up, right? I mean, Debit has to step up. I think he, you know, this season has taken a bit of a back to Bear Blitz's amazing play, but I think Debit, in terms of the peak, is probably the highest out of anybody on their team. So look for Debit to step up here if Steel Army are indeed going to take a game in this series. I just want to highlight everybody in chat. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank you for all the follows as well. Always good to see the chat pumping. We are currently resetting the lobby as the Rebellion, all 3 sat in the lobby with nobody on the other side for the duration of the prep phase. And so we're just remaking here.
Well, we don't need to remake the lobby, because I have admin controls, so I could just restart from kickoff.
Yeah, for sure. Just wanted to point out that the Rebellion all sat in there.
They did,
all by themselves. They're very lonely all on one side of the field. They did. I guess they just didn't want to play against the other players, which is totally fair. I get it, okay? But I think Raisin Boy is now in the lobby. The culprit, who we were all waiting on, is now here, folks. So we'll get underway shortly.
Indeed. Good to see everyone in the chat, though. We got a lot of activity going on. Gogan, I know you're in the chat. Are you going to just sit there and spectate, or are you actually going to get involved tonight? I'm curious.
Kind of sad to see no Gogan, to be honest. I really like Gogan's game. I think him and Triple C both offer something really, really good for the Rebellion. So sad to not see you play tonight, but so far so good for your team. Triple C's doing his job, and Maz, we got game number 2. Let's do it.
Here we go, from Manfield to Sovereign Heights. The Rebellion go in with a 1-0 lead in this match, but Steel Army bring in Raisin Boy. We'll see if they can get one back.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Raisin Boy in for Fly Penguin, the traditional Steel Army look that we've grown accustomed to seeing is on the field. You also mentioned Sovereign Heights, the best map in the game in my opinion. Hot take, but love seeing the change up in map rotations. And so far, Maz, the ball seems to be stuck in the blue half, which was a common theme in game number 1.
Absolutely, and the Rebellion need to make the most of this, because this Steel Army trio is more accustomed to playing with each other. You give them time to get into this game too, they will establish their presence, and they've already done it! All they needed was 51 seconds, Luis. Bear Blitz coming in, and he has been the goal-scoring machine for Steel Army in Season 10.
Yeah, and this is kind of more of the debit play that I want to see. He needs to be a facilitator, be somebody who's getting beats, and we saw that with the great infield pass to his older brother. And another early lead for Steel Army, Maz. Can they hold on, or will they concede straight away, double commit out of the Rebellion? But the Rebellion just march right back into the blue half, and kind of just want to see, Maz, what sort of control Steel Army can bring now in this lead in game number 2.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what approach they'll take, because they have a couple of ways. They can use Debit and Bear Blitz to take a slow-paced approach, but right now they're using Boom Ball to bring the ball forward quickly. Bear Blitz throwing the Rebellion into disarray. Raisin Boy with a final pass. Debit with a final finish. And there you go. Steel Army are already up 2-0.
I think Steel Army's answer to the question. They're a lot more composed after taking a lead. I mean, this is or a lead, excuse me. This is what you want to see. These guys are vets. They've been around for a while, and so look for them to kind of control the pace of play here. And I just want to shout out Caesar in the chat as Raisin Boy finds the save. Debit cannot commentate as he is playing in the match, so yeah. Not sure that's allowed. Is that allowed, Matt? Could you play while commentating? I don't know if that's allowed.
I mean, he'll want to calm with his teammates, so I think that'll be a disadvantage for Steel Army, if anything, to be fair. But technically, no, not allowed.
Yeah, not sure about that one, but then again, Caesar, we don't know him to be the brightest around here, so we just wanted to point that out. As you see a double commit, Steel Army, Polar out to midfield, but Bear almost finds the third, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Steel Army, Mads. They're really, really playing with a cohesion that we just didn't really see in game number 1.
God, Raisin Boy coming in has made an absolute difference, Luis. He's bringing the aggression in the midfield that they sorely missed, and their rotations look so much crisper as well. So even when they go back and need to defend, they can just boom it forward. And the Rebellion have no reply to the boom ball at the moment, because this is what's giving Steel Army all the control they need.
Indeed, I really like the passing as we're seeing here. Bear Blitz to Debit, Debit boost Steel. We're leaving here. Raisin Boy's putting a shot on target almost. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, Maz. I think these guys have played together before. So it's showing here, and so far, I mean, Steel Army, I mean, this is just a night and day difference to game number 1, but still a lot of time. Rebellion have a lot of quality, and so this game could really turn on just one goal here.
And it really could go either way, even at this stage. If you remember, the last time they faced each other, this match went to 5 games, and in Game 5, the Rebellion barely got the victory. But right now, it's Steel Army, who are establishing themselves. They have extended their lead to 3 without reply. Debit this time getting involved in the goal.
Debit up to 476 points. Almost more points than everybody in the lobby. I mean, he's got more points than the Rebellion, Maz. He's really putting on a show. Bear Blitz has typically been the talisman for them this season, but if Debit also can get going, that's a really good sign.
Oh, but they might concede right here. Short's trying to go for the double. He doesn't have the boost. And Polar somehow misses. And a follow-up from Triple C, but the denial prevents them from getting one back as we start to enter the final minute.
Has to be a goal if you're the Rebellion there. Shorts did so well. He faked the double touch. His teammates couldn't quite follow, and that might be all she wrote, Maz, here in game number 2. And listen.
Oh,
we're seeing backflips, folks. We're seeing backflips. Bear Blitz scores the 4th, his 2nd. Yeah, I think that's about it here in game number 2.
Oh, you hate to see those. You hate to see those, Luis in chat. Terrible ending to the game for the Rebellion right here. They should get a goal just to equal the game 1 performance that Steel Army had. I feel like with Raisin Boy, the Steel Army side have just gone to a whole other level, and there's no response from these New England boys right here. They have talked about their weakness being that boom ball.
Whoa,
as they still go through some awkward moments, and somehow they don't concede right there.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Red 4 in chat. I mean, listen, I criticized Debit for being really bad in game number 1, and Well, he's been really good in game number 2, so that might be a sign that commentators need to tell him he's playing bad even more. I mean, look at that. That's fantastic by Bear Blitz. I have to imagine if you're on the goal line there, Maz, Triple C's not expecting Bear Blitz to do that.
You know, I would have thought Bear Blitz would have gone for the demo, but I think getting that final touch was an even better decision from him. He gets his hat trick as well. Last season, you would not have imagined Bear Blitz getting this many goals against a team like the Rebellion, who finally get themselves back in on it. But all of that is just scat because Steel Army have run away with it in game 2.
Yeah, they have indeed. I think this is about all said and done here in game number 2. I did say in a previous broadcast, Maz, that I do think the winner of this game has the case for being the MVP of the league, and that being Bear Blitz and or Shorts. And so far 1-1 with a monster Bear Blitz performance here in game number 2. Can he find another goal? He can't. So far, Shorts dominates game 1, Bear Blitz dominates game number 2. Both the MVP candidates are really trading blows here as the series all tied up.
What an incredible game 2 this is from Bear Blitz. A hat trick out of 5 shots, 509 points as well. But let's give credit to the rest of Steel Army. They all stepped up and were absolutely dominant all across that field.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I do want to say partially, I think Steel Army obviously improved, but I think the Rebellion dropped a level. So that being said, I think in game number 3, I think if we see both teams return to the mean here, it might be a little bit of a closer game. Just for commentary and stream sake, I'd like a closer game. So, gentlemen, if you're listening, let's keep it close. Maybe a last-second winner would be good for game number 3. But we're down to a best-of-3, Maz. I said Rebellion in 4 now, so we'll see if my prediction holds up. But gotta like the momentum if you are a Pittsburgh fan. The champions of the USL Championship looking to be the champions of the SGL Championship. And so far, if they continue playing like that, they got a good chance.
They absolutely do. I think both sets of players are going to remain the same. They're going to stick with what they got. You know what that means? This is going to be an absolute bar burner for the rest of the match. Two teams bringing out their strongest and their best in this top of the table clash. Here we go. Lawler counting us down to kickoff. Luis, who do you see taking game 3?
Well, strong start from Steel Army. Shorts booms the ball in. Bear Blitz misses. It's going to be wide open. Oler scores 12 seconds in. Really uncharacteristic miss from Bear Blitz. Just a little bit too high up on the field, Maz. And, well, it left 2 Rebellion players fighting for an open net, and Polar beats out Shorts.
Oh, that is the worst start possible if you're Steel Army. All of that confidence and momentum gone just in an instant. And now the Rebellion are stepping back into it. Triple C going back to his old Octane with that old Shopify Rebellion logo, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that Luminosity? I believe that's Luminosity, isn't it?
Might be Limitless there.
Limitless,
I haven't taken a peek. Or at least that's Polar, I believe, on the Limitless. I haven't seen Triple C yet, but
it is.
Listen, Maz, I think this is a really, really good sign. You just lose a game by 4 or 5 goals, and you come out and you show a strong early performance here. That just speaks to the mental. I mean, we've all been in Rocket League series where you're getting blown out. It's not fun, and those next games are hard to recover. But both of these teams showing their muster as Polar. I mean, that's tremendous Torment-ish defense as the ball is just pinging around, Maz. Oh, Bear's missing. What are we doing?
Oh, no. Bear needed to execute right there. And now his team needs to go back because of that miss. But Razorboy, look at the composure. Getting chased down and still able to dribble it out. Win a 50. Just couldn't do much more than that. And now it's the Rebellion responding in kind. Polar bringing it all the way across the field to the goal mouth. Somehow the Rebellion can't take advantage of it.
Yeah, it really should be 2-0 to the Rebellion there. That was a tremendous play, just some heroic goal line defense. But this could be a chance here. Bear Blitz full boost on the right wall. Can he get a good center for his teammates? He cannot. He actually centers it for, well, puts it out for a throw-in. I should reiterate there. And so far, the Rebellion are holding on.
Liking this edge to BearBlitz's gameplay. We have not seen this for a while, but now he wants to get on the ball and take over. And instead, who beats his man? But Shorts gets back right on time. Not enough power on that final touch. Shorts gets back to rescue the Rebellion.
We got a lot of backflipping and whiffing going on, folks. I think that just shows you the nerves. This is the biggest game of the championship season, and Polar puts it in for 2 goals for him, 481 points, Maz, and we've barely played half the game. I mean, this is a tremendous IT Polar performance.
It is vintage IT Polar. He brings back his vintage Limitless Octane, and he is back at his best, taking over this game 3. Now, Luis, you've done this as well, where you switch up your car or your decal or livery. How much does it affect your mental in a matchup like this?
As somebody who's incredibly autistic, it helps me out. Okay, if I lose a game, Maz, I'm switching cars. All right, it's never my fault, but you know whose fault it is? It's Devitt missing an open net, but he's just gonna score it. I think Triple C thought it was just gonna go in, so I think he just left it. Let's take a peek here, folks. Yeah, I think he just thinks it's gonna go in, and Devitt says, "Thank you very much." We've got a 1-goal game. Steel Army right back in it.
The Limitless of Polar versus the Oxygen of Devitt. 2 throwback decals out. Speaking of throwbacks, what about this? The Pittsburgh Knights that Raisin Boy is showcasing right here as well. Seeing a good amount of variety in these vehicles. Good to see vintage performances as well. Devitt this time getting heavily involved in the goals as well. 2-1 though to the Rebellion with 90 seconds remaining. This game 3 can go either way, and because this is a best of 5, this is absolutely huge. The winner can go on to win the whole match as they'll be on match point. And with how the games have gone in the champ this season, typically the team that goes up to 2 wins the match afterwards.
Yeah, that typically is how it goes. Lovely read from BearBlitz there. Love that on low boost, but this is awkward. Raisin Boy, not a lot of boost on the backboard, but he makes a tremendous save, denying Shorts from what would be a for sure goal in BearBlitz. He knew absolutely fuck all about it, Maz, but he saved the ball, and Steel Army are still in it.
Just like a goalkeeper, keeping his hand out and keeping it strong, BearBlitz positions himself dead center in the middle and keeps that ball out. 40 seconds remaining. That save might be huge for Steel Army, but they still gotta work hard to get the equalizer.
They do, and the Rebellion are just so comfortable here. Really good comms from Shorts telling Polar to leave it, and they look the more likely to score, Maz, it must be said, but this could be a chance. Raisin Boy on target. If Polar doesn't backflip, he easily saves it, and he does. I really, really like the way the Rebellion have defended this lead. Very, very comfortable. Big 50s and big clear zone.
This absolutely adapted to Steel Army's penchants for booms. Dribbles. They have an answer for everything. Steel Army has to over. But with the last chance, potentially Steel Army don't capitalize, and the Rebellion take it 2-1 in Game 3 to lead the match 2-1.
I said I liked the way the Rebellion were defending, and then they decided to triple commit at the end, leaving a racing Triple C with no boost back, but the Rebellion, lovely performance. I thought that was really comfortable. Big bounce back after getting blown out in game number 2. Polar dropping 689 points. It's not more than the entire Steel Army team, but it's pretty close. And so really good performance out of him. And I think this is more of the Rebellion that I expected. If they calm well, Maz, they don't double commit, they're going to win most of these games. And that's exactly what we saw there. So big bounce back. They're on match point. And again, folks, if you're just now joining us, the winner of this series basically wins the championship, barring an absolute miracle pop-off performance from the others. So this is essentially a championship match so early on in the season. So these next few games here could really decide the whole thing.
This is gonna be an absolutely insane game 4. Luis and chat, buckle up. Get ready for this wild ride as we kick off game 4 very soon. No subs on either end. We are sticking with the strongest trios. It's gonna be all about who can make the most of their chances, who can make the least mistakes, and who can turn up when it counts. Allez au Paris!
SGL in Paris, like you said, I mean, this is a fantastic map. One of the better maps they've introduced recently, so just paying homage to the best country in Rocket League historically, and hopefully we get some good Rocket League as well, Maz. As so far, Steel Army, this could be a chance. Bear Blitz denied by the other MVP candidate in Shorts, and so far the ball is in the orange half. That could have been an open net. Debit finds the shot, but Shorts, as he's done so much, Maz, he finds the save.
Shorts recognized that his teammates were in danger. He takes the pragmatic approach, goes into the net at the goal mouth, and makes a huge save at the near post. And now they're forward. They're looking to get the first goal, but they're all at the same corner. Someone needs to take charge. Shorts finally does. And with Triple C centering that, no one is there to meet it. Razor Boy clears it out. But I think this is giving us a sign of things to come. I think this might become a KG game 4.
Yeah, it feels like if you're the Rebellion, just play solid rock. Literally just first person go, hit ball hard. I thought that's all they have to do here. And so far, haven't really seen much of that in game number 4, but I do like this. Good 50. Shorts should have full boost. Free ball. Can we see something mechanical from Shorts? Let's see it. Double tap, and it's there! Shorts, 5-3. The mechanics were called upon, Maz, and he delivered. 1-0.
Cometh the hour! Cometh the Shorts! Off of the sidewall! Double tapping! When the going gets tough, Short steps up and delivers. The Rebellion have missed him. And when he's in the team, the Rebellion deliver. A huge lead for them, and they needed this too, because a win will get them to the top of the table. And they needed those saves to keep themselves in the lead.
Man, I'd love to see another angle of Bear Blitz. It feels like he had the entire goal to aim at, but he shot it at the guy that was in the net. That was a massive chance for Steel Army, but Polar says, I'll put the ball center for you guys, and almost a really dangerous spot there for the Rebellion, but that was a great response, Matt, but you feel like they have to be taking advantage of that sort of opportunity.
They absolutely need to, but it's in the other end where the Rebellion take the advantages. Triple C with a nice soft pop-up. Shorts diving in for the ball. Bear Blitz looking awkward at the near post. And the Rebellion take a 2-goal lead with 2 minutes 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah, just an awkward spot for Debit there. He did have full boost, but it's incredibly awkward. And, well, the Rebellion are going to win this in 3, it looks, or in 4, it looks like. Really appreciate them doing my prediction solid. But, oh, look at this passing. I love that. All 3 players involved. Triple C. What a touch from him. Can he get the 50? It's just in the net. Triple C, 3-0. And, well, Maz, I think this could be over.
I was wondering if Triple C was going to step up. What a read off of that ceiling bounce. And Steel Army, we're not ready for the response. Triple C playing mind games with them. The Rebellion up 3 as we enter the second half. I wonder what Steel Army's response is going to be, but right now they look dead and beaten.
Yeah, they really do. I just don't know where the offense is going to come from. It's been few and far between. It just seems like the Rebellion, they have a third man very, very far back the entire time, and that third man just, I mean, as you see here, look at this, Shorts. It's just comfortable. Third man's just so far back, man. They're always feel comfortable. Perfect. They're just doing it on repeat for us.
God.
It's really, really crazy redirect, but Steel Army just hasn't adapted to that far third man, and they're just, well, really comfortable.
And even when they get sloppy in the midfield, they get to recover. To be fair to them, though, I think Steel Army is starting to get a little bit impatient, starting to rush a bit more. They need this bit of composure from Bear Blitz. Decent setup as well. They cannot get away from their game plan as much as they like to push up, because the Rebellion are punishing them at every single opportunity. Now Bearbloods gets a chance towards the far post. Triple C at the right place to make that straightforward save. And now it's all hands on deck for the Orange boys as they continue to defend and protect their nets.
Again, they just do such a good job defensively, the Rebellion. If you want to beat a team playing super far back third man, you do what Raisin Boy's doing and demo some players. But again, Triple C on the goal line, uncontested. Ball is sent the other way. I really like this game plan. I'd love to ask them in the postgame if they do this on purpose, but if they don't, it's working wonders. So hopefully they take note for the rest of the season. But this has to be a goal if you're Steel Army. And Triple C is just, again, in the net, clearing the ball out. This is really, really lovely defensive rocket.
So game 3 was a very quiet game for Triple C. He only got 86 points, and it was mostly Shorts and Polar putting in the work. But this game 4, he has absolutely stepped up and been an absolute menace against Steel Army. We've seen this from him, but he's not able to consistently deliver these kind of performances. However, when he does, the team just goes up to a whole other level. And you sometimes wonder, why don't we see this more often from someone like Triple C?
Well, listen, their team's so good. It's hard to talk about him too much. But let's put that on pause. 3, 2, 1. The Rebellion win. They win convincingly. I think the league is theirs now.
That is absolutely insane. Steel Army needed to win too, to at least remain in contention. This 3-1 loss is gonna hurt them massively, Luis in chat. Once I put the results in and once I put the results in, I think I'll be able to tell you what the table will look like. Unfortunately, because KJ's whole overlay and display is down, we're not able to show the league table. So all I could do is make a calculation based on what we got from last league week's results, and then go from there.
Listen, folks, in terms of the standings, all you need to know is that the Rebellion are in first place. And they just beat the only rival in the title race, and they control their own destiny. So I'm going to go ahead and crown some things, Maz. Shorts 53, you are the SGL Championship MVP. I will not be hearing any other names or any other players for the remainder of the season. So congratulations on behalf of myself and anybody who disagrees. It's just wrong. What a performance from him. It is a night and day difference, Maz, when that guy is on the field versus when he's not playing, which we saw last week. And yeah, just a monster performance from him in this series.
Big time. And you know what? He had to turn up today. He did. That's all that matters at the end of the day. He turns up, Shorts that is, and the team delivers. You know, he elevates the rest of the team. He doesn't just do it on his own. He absolutely elevates the rest of the team. So with his presence, Polar gets to his absolute best, and you start to see AAA play such incredible Rocket League as well. I mean, what answer is there? I mean, how do you respond against the Steel Army? How do you respond against this Rebellion team now? The only hope they have is they slip up against EC Defiance and Frontera Azul, you know, but really, how likely is that going to be for the rest of the season?
I mean, listen, their only losses without the MVP of the league, in my opinion. I think it's going to be very tough for anybody to stop them. These guys are on a mission, and if they're playing that super defensive rock that we saw in games 3 and 4, where they always have a deep third man, it's just really hard to beat them. They've really mastered that, and I mean, it just was phenomenal to watch them play that game 3 and 4, and so, yeah, shout out to them. Again, I'm already crowning them champions. I'm already crowning MVP to Mr. Shorts himself. But hopefully we'll have some interviews, maybe. Is this going to happen, interviews? I think we're going to get some interviews, Maz.
We will have a couple of interviews. I would like to apologize right now, though, because I'm absolutely distracted. I'm just trying to figure out what the exact table is going to look like. Yes, the Rebellion will be in the lead, but how big will their lead be? Now, Steel Army got 1 point. They were on 26 points. The Rebellion were on 25. They get 4 points. So 29 points to the Rebellion, and they're 2 points ahead of Steel Army, who are on 27 points. Honestly, Steel Army had to win 2, just to remain in contention. With a 2-point gap, given how the rest of the schedule looks, Steel Army have to hope for a big upset. because there's no way the Rebellion will let slip a 2-point lead. Absolutely no way.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredibly hard to see them losing or dropping any more points. If they're at full, they have their starting three. If Shorts doesn't show up, other teams have a chance. So, maybe there's an illness or an injury. Somebody needs to show up to Shorts' work and, break his pinky finger. In Minecraft,
it's wild that that's what it takes right now, Luis. That it takes someone getting some sort of affliction to make them unavailable for the rest of the league to stand a chance.
Yeah. I do want to reiterate to Twitch and chat, I am not advocating for physical harm against Shorts 53. Just hypothetically in Minecraft, I think it's probably the only way that guy and that team isn't winning at all.
So, once again, I'm apologizing for a bit of delay. We do have a couple of interviews lined up, but the problem is I'm just trying to see if I could set up something to show that there is an interview. Because we don't have an overlay set up, I'm just trying to recover what I had previously for the interview scene. So, bear with me as I try to get that set up. Luis, I apologize to you as well for this. It won't take me too long, though.
Yeah, no worries. We'll wait here. We got no rush. I do want to say, chat, we do have the SGL podcast coming up right after these interviews, so please stick around for that. Rydog and PGH Debit himself will both be here yapping about our lovely league, so we really appreciate everybody being here at this time of the night.
Yeah, and you should stick around because, we have to talk about what happened in the Cup. A few expected results, but a few absolute bangers as well. So absolutely stick around to see what we have in store for the podcast tonight.
It appears there's a European on the loose in the general chat of the Discord, folks. I'm going to guess the age is, I'm going to go with 13 years old, given the way that conversation is behaving. It is quite entertaining if you do want to read while you wait. There actually is quite a few 13-year-olds involved in the conversation. We have Northy Jr., maybe 11. Playboy Farty, maybe 9 years old. That's being polite about it. Very high intellectual stuff in general chat and Discord right now.
Well, that's the youth for you nowadays.
It is the youth for you nowadays. A bunch of children in the general chat. It is providing a bit of entertainment as we do wait. Caesar saying an acronym that I can't pronounce on Twitch, but I will react a laugh emoji. So Caesar, if you are watching the stream, which of course you are, because that's why you type that, why are you 1500 in twos? There you are in chat. Also, Palace512 talking shit to me in the general chat of the Discord. Really don't like to see that. I also want to, while we do wait, and I think they'll go over it in the podcast, but the 512 guys from Austin might be the best team in SGL now, folks. That's all I'm going to say. You'll have to watch the podcast to see if they elaborate more on that. But I think the Austin team is now the best team in the league, hands down. And I'll leave it at that. So I'm getting shit-talked in the Discord general. I'm also getting shit-talked by Immortal Valorant player IT Polar in the Twitch chat. He writes, "You are trash. First of all, terrible spelling. I expect more from my Immortal 3 Valorant players. So, you also do suck, Polar." Adifo, yeah. I don't know. Caesar is just really bad at Rocket League. What can I say? Stop yapping and let's podcast. Rydog reminded the chat we do have the podcast coming up where he will be the one yapping, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, once again, I do apologize for the delay, but we are finally ready to go. It's just unfortunate to deal with what we're dealing with right now. It's going to be a little bit of a janky setup, so I apologize for it not looking as slick and clean as KJ's awesome overlay and displays, but we are going to be getting our first interview ready very soon. We're going to start with the Rebellion, and we are going to be bringing in a very short amount of time, Triple C of the Rebellion. Triple C, welcome on in. An absolutely massive win for your team. We are back. I apologize for that, chat. That's my fault. I told you we're doing
Triple
it live, and it's
C-
going to be a bit of a struggle.
He said that he hated his teammates, so he said that he hated Polar in shorts.
That's why he muted me, just to make sure
Yeah.
it didn't get
Yeah.
broadcasted.
I do apologize to IT Polar in chat. He did say he does not like you, so.
Nah, never true, never true. Polar had a killer game. Him and Shorts both, carried me. It was awesome. But yeah, to your first question that I think the stream missed out on, the mindset going into the game though, truly it was to stay calm and just to stay focused and play our game. I mean, we don't want it to adjust like we have in the past few games to other teams. We just wanted to keep pushing, the way we play.
Yeah, speak to me. I mean, I think there's a guy on your team named Shorts53. He's pretty good, and it feels like when he's in the lineup, you guys are untouchable. Talk to me about the difference between him being here this week versus him not being here last week.
Yeah, and last week was tough. I mean, I wasn't supposed to play. He was supposed to play. So I was kind of thrown in very last moment there. So it was definitely a tough adjustment for me because I need like a good half an hour to warm up and play. So we definitely had a very tough game without a series. I don't even know, it's not even a game. Definitely a tough series. So, it's different. He puts a lot of pressure up. He has a lot of great things that he does behind the scenes, like his communication is really helpful. He's always kind of also trying to keep upbeat. Whenever someone messes up or something, he does, make a comment of like, keep pushing forward, don't think about it, be a goldfish kind of thing. So, that stuff is also very helpful.
So, Triple C, you struggled in Game 3, but your teammates led you to victory, essentially. And not to say that you were bad, you just weren't as influential as you were in Game 4, when you really stepped it up and delivered. Was that because your teammates let you take the front foot and take over, or was that just your own drive and determination coming up in and taking over?
No, game 3 was rough. You can absolutely call me out on that. That was horrible. I think 2 or even 3 of their goals were on me. So yeah, that was definitely a very tough game for me. But it was because of Ian and Shorts we were able to pull out, a nice victory the next game. I think it was game 2 when they had the substitution and We lost 5-0. That's where I had the worst game. And then, thereafter, just kind of resetting my mind there and kind of pushing forward. Game 4 was a really, really good game for me. I just need to kind of get out of my own way and just actually play.
Yeah, I mean, I just have one more question. Do you guys, on purpose, have like a super far third man? Because it seems like that has made it so much easier for you guys to not only not concede, but that third man really has almost a free ball to just boom downfield for offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tactic a little bit. It's not a full sit back in the middle of the net third man, but we don't want to be too close to the half line. Usually when it's shorts and Polar, you'll see that they're usually a little bit closer to the half line, but when it's me and Gogan, we sit a little bit further back. A part of that is because they obviously have that ability to rotate a little bit quicker than we do. So it's more a crutch for myself and Gogan to be able to be like, all right, I can hit this up. I don't have to turn my car to catch the thing, then go up the wall. I can just sit back a little bit and then I can just pass the ball instead. When we first started the league, a few years back, we were booming the ball constantly. It wasn't even a pass. It was just clear this thing. Let's get the heck out of here. Now it's more if we're sitting back, we can actually, angle the ball in a way where I know Shorts or Ian will be up in the air and get that thing on target most of the time. So, it's a lot of trust in them, but also a lot of knowing who you are as a player and, doing a rotation that works for you, but also the team.
One final question from me.
I like that answer, Maz. That's really good. Honestly, Triple C, that's one of the better answers to a question in SGL. So I appreciate you being so forthcoming. That was really nice.
No, absolutely. It's really is true though. Like, you have to know who you are as a player. I can watch the two of you play, and I know I can't do things you guys can do. But if I can make adjustments in my positioning to be able to give myself a better advantage, to be able to have the opportunity to do something along those lines, then that's what I'm gonna have to do, right? So, it's just making those adjustments to make yourself a better player for your team.
It's that kind of candid and honest take that we rarely tend to get in SGL, so I'm really glad you brought that perspective up. And let that be a lesson to everyone as well. You cannot necessarily try to go too far if you're not capable of it. You work with your capabilities for that moment, and then you start to practice and try and improve yourself when you're not in those kind of pressure situations. But for now, Triple C, you stepped up, you did what you needed to do. One final question from me. Given how critical Shorts is to your team, are you guys gonna try to do something to make up for his absence if and when he is not around to play for an SGL match? Or are you just gonna accept that you're not gonna be as good without him?
I mean, everyone's got their players. I mean, Debit's great for his team, right? I mean, without Debit, they're not the same. I think everyone has a player that really brings them to that next level. Shorts is definitely one of ours. I think Polar is too. They're both excellent players, and they really bring up our team. But no, I'm not going to say that, we're just going to settle for not playing as well when one of our two best players isn't here. It's if you even think about your own soccer teams that you guys are supporting, whether it's the Revs and Carlos Heel isn't playing, or if it's someone else, I'm obviously blanking, of course. If it's I'm blanking, so I'm not gonna say anything. But if it's someone else in your own personal teams, if your number 10 isn't available, then you're not gonna play as well. But you have to adjust, right? Like I was just mentioning. So if Heel's not playing, the Revs no longer play through the middle, they play the long ball more often, right? It's the same thing here. If Shorts isn't available, we need to make adjustments. If Ian's not available, if Polar's not available, we need to make adjustments. So it just is what it is. But you got to make sure you have that ability to make those adjustments because you cannot play the same way when you're missing those key players.
Great answer. Once again, absolutely great answer. And on that note, I think we can call the interview here. Thank you very much. Big win for your team as well, Triple C. We are going to leave the floor to you. Say whatever you need to say. Give your shout outs. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, guys. And I'm gonna shout out Go Pats this Sunday to get a nice little win against the Chargers. So that'll be my
So
shout
Drake May.
out. Heck yeah, baby. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again for the stream and good luck in the podcast.
Thanks for the interview, Triple
take
C.
care.
GG's and have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, once again, chat, apologies for how rough the stream is at the moment. But hopefully you guys are still having a good time right now. We're going to be having our second interview after this very shortly. And then after this, we'll take a short 5-minute break before we get started with the SGL podcast episode 30, reviewing the Cup week over the holiday period. Luis, before we get started with the second interview, I mean, that's probably the best interview we've heard so far, right?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic interview. I think Triple C is very, yeah, he's one of the best dudes, and I think he gives candid responses. So really appreciate him, and of course his team in the driver's seat to win the league. So let's, I mean, I'm down for the next interview. We'll get this going so we can get you guys to the podcast. So we need Uncle Debit to join the commentary channel, please.
There you go. We are going to be dragging him in very soon. Once again, a little bit rougher, so bear with me as I try and get everything set up. There's also the matter of what Luis mentioned a while back, which is General blowing up and not necessarily behaving, shall we say. But
yeah, there's a bunch of children in that chat right now, and the sad part is, Maz, half of them are adults, so it's a bit of a conundrum in there, you know. It's one of those.
That's the internet for you. Unfortunately.
But Debit, if you can hear us, go ahead and please join the commentary channel, please. We are wanting to ask you questions, sir.
Yeah, hop on in, bro. All right. You've already spoiled who the interviewee is. Debit is not yet in, so we're gonna have to drag him in. All right. As Scorpion would say, get in here. Debit, unfortunate loss for you guys. The fact that you couldn't even get 2 points in this must sting. How are you guys feeling, though?
All things considered, not too bad. We're actually playing ranked right now again.
Oh, this is interesting. So, commentary while you guys are playing ranked.
Oh yeah.
So, you decided to stick with Raisin Boy, Bear Blitz, and yourself from game 2 onwards. Was that to make sure you guys had the strongest trio out there at all times? Was there any other reason going around as to why you didn't want to rotate and potentially bring Red 4 in?
Kind of just like how people were feeling. I mean, I think everybody knows by this point that like that 3 that you saw out there for those 3 games that they were out, like that's our strongest trio right there. I told Red, I'm like, if you want the opportunity, like, we'll get you the opportunity. Like, that doesn't matter. But after looking at the play, he was like, yeah, I don't know about matching up with this right now. Just, you guys got this.
Yeah, listen, Debit. I mean, what changed? Like, what happened in game number 2 that just didn't happen in game number 3 and 4? It felt like it's just night and day difference in terms of those games.
As far as differences, the biggest one, at least that I noticed, was probably the way we played 50s. It seemed like they were like very fortuitous for us in game 2. We had 2 of those based off of dunks. We were constantly like dragging the ball out, noticing that they are very boomy whenever it comes to at least how they play some of it. So we want to just be a bit more controlled in that aspect, and it worked out in a lot of ways. But I think in games 3 and 4, you just didn't see those bounces come quite the same way you were used to seeing in game number 2.
Yeah, it feels like I kind of mentioned it in the stream, but it feels like the Rebellion in games 3 and 4 really had a deep third man, and it was just allowing them to not only save the ball but just like start counters. I mean, Did you guys notice that they were playing a super far third man back, or just kind of didn't really notice that during the game?
I did notice it, but it pissed me off that it was mostly shorts because, like, what a reliable player to have in your backfield to sort of basically, like, cover your butt at any given moment. So it made it a lot more difficult to sort of break through. So if we didn't already have the, I guess, the opportunity or the outplay ready to go where we could potentially, like, get, like, a better 2-on-1, shorts just made it that much more worse to deal with. I think with Polar and Triple C, it actually worked a little bit better with them back, but nah, shorts might have to get MVP at least for, like, defense as well. Like, give him the Selkie at this point. That dude's earned it.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in commentary too. I mean, I think, listen, I think Shorts is the MVP. You can already give him the trophy. Like, it's his. No matter what happens the rest of the season. At least no matter what happens foreseeably. If they somehow
Yeah.
bomb out. But yeah, I mean, he's been the best player in the championship. It's a big 9-day difference when he's playing on that team. So, well, listen, the league's not in y'all's hands anymore, technically. The Rebellion control their own destiny, so any message to the other teams that you're going to need to beat them this season?
Well, let's just say, I mean, the Hounds play at home for 3 games of the playoffs. They were at home because they got beat by other lower teams that brought us to that point. The Steelers get into the playoffs every season because some bullshit happens to the Ravens. Or we just end up having something go our way where it shouldn't. You know, Pittsburgh's built on some luck sometimes, and we already had that first piece of luck. Now it's time to test and see how much we actually do have the rest of the year. So, to all the teams that are playing Rebellion, good luck to you. They are definitely a stubborn team to deal with. But, yeah, do it for us. No better message than that, right?
I do want to highlight some comments in the chat from salty players. X Bear Blitz says, "Can't be the MVP when you're on load management." Shorts, if you're in the chat, I do want you to respond to that. Are you the Kawhi Leonard of the SGL? Please respond in chat.
Ooh, quite high praise to give at least there too.
Yeah. No response from Shorts. It's sounding like a no response is well, what do they say? I don't know. He's not defending himself, so it must be true, Debit. Is this correct?
I think it's got to be it. That's how it works, right?
I think so.
Yep. Airblitz is right. I think he's the committee now. So I think we gotta defer to him. He is the AP.
We love our AP voters. Very, very knowledgeable on the subjects in which they talk about. So, I don't have anything else, Maz. You want to ask this guy anything else? He's gonna be yapping for the next hour with Riot Dog. So
We absolutely will be.
He has to hear me for that much longer too. Oh gosh.
Yeah, we absolutely will be. But and I know you don't want to focus on this match as well during the podcast, but for now, just one question from my end. You know, you guys are 2 points down. You know, are you guys going to keep your belief going for the rest of the league season? Are you guys going to keep giving your all and trying to make sure you don't drop any more points? Or are you guys just accepting the fact that you're not necessarily going to win and focus more on the cup?
Well, honestly, in both situations, we're, you know, on the back foot. So I don't think it's necessarily a matter of one competition gets higher focus than the other. I mean, we're going to play for it every week because, you know, we have to beat the prediction markets being as powerful as they are. So you always have to play your all. Yeah, no, there's going to be no difference week to week. It's still hope for the best. Just got to play what you play and do what you do best. And honestly, winning feels better than losing. So I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely fair. I did have one more question for you, but it's going to be about Flying Penguin, but I think we can save that for the SGL podcast. For now, though, the floor is yours, Debit. Say what you want to say. Give your shout-outs. Go ahead.
Shout out to the team. know we didn't get the result tonight, but just one small misstep. Steelers going to the Super Bowl, and I'll be talking to y'all in a couple minutes. Shout out Sheets as well. Good shout, Caesar.
Yes, shout out Sheets, absolutely. Right, thank you very much, Debit. Feel free to stick around, just keep yourself muted for now as we wrap up the match portion of the stream.
Yeah, mud up, Debit.
What? Nah.
Mud up.
Nah. Chill out. Okay.
All right, buddy.
All right, thank you very much for that, Debit. We will get back to you and Rydog very shortly, but for now, let us wrap up with the match portion of the stream. That about does it for this matchup. A huge win for the Rebellion. Massive 3-1 win takes them 2 points to the top of the table. And we're seeing a lot of activity in the chat as well. Thank you all so much for being here and having a lot of fun. Big shout outs to Gogan for the 40-bit on-screen celebration donation and Rydog for the Prime sub for 3 months in total. Thank you both so much for your support for SGL. Your support goes very far. We are hoping to fund a live SGL LAN depending on where RLCS Worlds gets announced. When that happens, hopefully it's at Fort Worth once again. We might be able to host an SGL LAN. Might being the key word right here. So your support takes us there, and your support will take us very far. Thank you very much for all your support. That's for sure. Luis, final thoughts on this matchup before we wrap it up for the podcast.
Great matchup. Congrats to the Rebellion on winning the SGL Championship. Debit is terrible, and Bear Blitz is also really bad. So that's all I have to say, Maz. Thank you all for being here. Rydog and Debit are about to get on here and yap for an hour. Please stick around for them, or with them as they talk about our lovely league. And that's about it.
And thank you very much for stepping up to commentate, Luis. It was absolutely awesome to have you around here for the commentary and more. Really appreciate you and your contributions to SGL.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
But that wraps it up for the match. Stick around. We're going to be kicking off with the SGL podcast, episode 30 in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. But from the only Mazar and Luis, we will chat with you all later. Peace.